If I spill this coffee on my privates like that, there'll be a display colorful that you wouldn't believe.
Okay. There you go.
Why is it when you hear another language you always recognize the profanity first?
Because that's the most fun.
There was wasn't exactly a Mexican, but she was of Spanish ancestry. That used to be working up there at Walmart. And one day I said, "Is you're fluent in Spanish?" She said, "Yes, I learned it before I ever did English." And I said, "Now, there's a word I want you to tell me what the meaning of it is. And if it's not what it ought to be, I'll apologize in advance."
In other words, you knew what you were saying before you got there.
I was thinking pretty well on it. And I said, "What does so-and-so mean, you know?" And she says, "You don't want to know." Oh, that was awful, she said.
See what you are?
Mm-hmm.
Shameless. Totally and completely shameless.
You don't want to know what that means. There's the areas of taking off.
Yeah. And he's going right to it.
You know, for the last, from about on now, they don't even pick up speed. They just run for a while, you know.
Well, the wind is generally, well, fortunately, it's in the right direction today. Mm-hmm. So everything's going off to the south.
Yeah.
Now, there's not much wind at all.
The little ones like this one here don't have a real high wing loading. So I guess that's the thing that makes them need to run a long ways. Them guys want to be sure they got something to go into. They don't like to short do it.
Well, what would be fun is if you could find a place. I remember when we went up to DIA.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place you can get to where you can just sit there and watch.
No.
That was rude. I mean, that would be a place where it would be a lot of fun because you could see everything.
Down there at Fort Worth, you can just go right up to the main line, you know. Closer than this one right here. And I watched the big transports take off.
Uh-huh.
Close enough you can hear their tires whistle when they touch the ground.
Yeah. Well, they just had a little one take off on the far one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot of activity. At least not yet.
There was one place where I had to sit while they took off, and I was damn close to the runway. The main runway is about where this road is right here.
Uh-huh.
The wingtip passed over my foxhole, and I got the full breath off that old big engine that went by.
I bet that was a little unnerving.
Well, I got used to it. I mean, all I had to do is cover my ears up. But I was in a hole in the ground along with two or three other holes along there. They was picking up cripples, C-47s.
Right.
And it was a road they was taking off on.
Well, I can understand at the time having to make do with what you got.
Yep.
I mean, when I was in high school, the west entrance to Peterson Field, you can go down there at the end. You see where that big flat white strip is?
Yeah.
There's a lot of lights attached to that.
Yeah.
Just beyond there is where that road goes to, and it goes right down underneath the end of the runway down there.
Uh-huh.
And that used to be a great place to look up and watch planes come in. It was a little unnerving because they were real close. I mean, not more than 50 to 100 feet off the ground.
I used to go down, there was a bridge about a quarter mile away from that first place I lived in. I used to, just an old ordinary wooden bridge.
Uh-huh.
And I used to like to get underneath that thing's what over there. My dad didn't think much of it. We was coming from that other place and just walked over there. Was walking up a creek is what we was doing.
Uh-huh.
And went underneath there and I seen a truck coming, so we just waited. Got in there and my dad didn't like that crunch as it went over, He said, this is no place to be. Dot and I used to go down there and sit when it was shady,
Right.
There's several places along the coast where they got a road built out in the water, on pilings.
Right.
That's just like going to sea when you get out on one of them. If you'd run off in it like that, you'd run in 10 feet of water.
Or worse.
Mm-hmm. Could be anything, couldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Out there and on that trip to Salt Lake City, that straightaway, and nothing but mud on each side of it. It sure caught that one son of a gun, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had a rough day.
He probably had a rough night.
Yeah. Man, it's a little slow. Uh-oh. Wind is changing direction. It's going the other way.
Yeah.
How rude. They'll start doing things to the north now.
Yeah, it's sun coming up, heating it, causing it to do that.
Yeah, I know. See how rude that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll be moving traffic to the other direction now. Oh well, that's all right.
It's either in the southwest or the northeast.
southwest.
It's
I had to think there for a minute
it's
because we're facing east.
yeah, it's more or less east and it is south too. You notice
Well,
that?
now it's moving due south, or most literally. It's completely swung around.
There's one taking off.
Yeah, but that's a truck. Right. Did you see the wings on the side of his truck when he was driving up there?
I just barely saw him as he went by.
Yeah. Oh well. Now he's going down the other one.
He ain't wasting any time either, is he? They want that runway cleared.
Well, he's looking for some kind of debris.
Those real high-speed airplanes that they had there for a while, they didn't last long, did they? What was that? A night comet, or what do they call them?
Oh, you're talking about the SSTs?
Yeah.
Yeah, supersonic. Yeah. Oh hell. There's another word for it.
Anyhow, Dot and I got to get in one of them. Boy, they're crowded inside, you know it.
Now, is he coming in, or is he just now taking off? Out there in the distance, I see a plane. It's way out there. It's below the fence line.
Yeah, see him glitter in the sunlight. It's right above that sign.
Right. It's a good size aircraft, and it's still coming into the south. I'm a little surprised about that. It looks like a commercial jet. That's probably going to be one of the last ones that land to the south.
Well, he's hung in the sky anyhow. You know, them British pilots, you have a big old 4-engine thing like that, and they handle him just like you would a small airplane.
Supersonic. All I can think of is supersonic and SST.
Oh, that hot rod airplane. That's one, you know.
Well,
run over.
It takes 4 hours to cross the Atlantic. I'd say that's, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Pretty swift, ain't it?
yeah, it's real swift.
France and England cooperated to making that thing.
Yeah. It's what made Branson a multi-billionaire. Because that was the, well, I think that was the precursor to Airbus. I'm not sure, but that sounds right. Concorde.
Concorde, that's the word.
I knew he'd come up with it sooner or later.
Anyhow, one of them ran over a piece of junk in the runway and cracked him up, remember?
Yeah.
And that was about the last doing I heard about them.
Well, they had two really big issues. One, not the least of which was being really loud when they took off and landed.
Oh, yeah. With that kind of power, they would.
Well, they were designed kind of after, well, where they were designed to fly really high, so they were kind of a takeoff of the
Kind of a half-assed rocket.
well, yeah, but between the U-2 and the SR-71, not the same specific design, but something after that to reach ridiculously high altitudes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they cruise at about 80 to 90,000 feet.
Those F-80s, they were photographic. That's what they were for.
Right.
And they climbed in fantastic high, too. But they wasn't a very fast airplane.
All right.
Its wings didn't hang back, like at an angle. It was straight across. But a real long wing. No telling how high them could get.
Right.
The Russians shot one of them down at 80,000 feet.
Yeah, Gary Powers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the U-2.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think.
Right. I was watching a little thing on that not the other night.
Mm-hmm. He got killed later on in the crash, didn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were real upset with him because well, they were surprised.
Well, he, they had a lie going what he was supposed to be out there, and he let them down, I think.
Well, I think the bottom line is they let him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he looked after himself.
Yeah. I mean, that was... They denied the existence of the flight. And then the Russians caught him red-handed in a lie. And Eisenhower and company got embarrassed before the whole world because they got caught in a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't until shortly after the Bay of Pigs and that missile crisis in Cuba that the Russians equally got caught in a lie.
Yeah.
So the advent of the Cold War had everybody being real stupid.
All that crap is kind of passed by now, it. Don't hear so much about it.
Well, you don't. But the mentalities behind how that whole situation existed still readily exists as much today as it ever did.
Yeah.
Everybody's nuts about it.
See stuff stirring down there, but don't know whether it's an airplane or what.
Well, there's an airplane going to the south that's about ready to take off.
It's a big wheel, big tail job.
Yeah. But there's one down there that's due south that's about to come due north here in a minute. He's just sitting down there waiting for the okay to do whatever it is he's supposed to do. See that puff of smoke down there?
Yeah.
Way down there? If you look just to the left, you'll see the planes pointing to the east.
I see something down there, but I can't identify it.
Right.
There for a while, all the politicians was anti-communist. All he could do is hear something about communism, you know. Oh, for a while. They kind of let up on that now.
Well, no, they haven't. They've gone from communism to socialism.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You know, Joe McCarthy took a long time for people to realize that he was a real nutcase.
Oh, yeah. But he raised a lot of fuss while he had a chance, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. And the reason he got away with it is because he was backed by the public.
Oh, yeah.
Because the public was just as outraged as,
What
you know, that was when, for me, that's when you get into all this political nonsensical rhetoric.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is he going to turn north and take off? He's moving.
Yeah. Behind that post now.
Right. Behind the stop sign.
Uh-huh.
There he comes.
Yeah, he's a-coming. But if he'll keep on a-coming.
Yeah. Is he going to power up and take off or keep going out? Yeah, now the wind's definitely moving in the opposite direction.
It is now, yeah.
And he's headed out to the other runway.
Mm-hmm. I see that over there now.
Oh, no, he's not. So he should be off the ground by the time he gets here.
Mm-hmm. Look there with a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
He's just jogging along slow, ain't he?
Well, he's still headed in the other direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, we forgive him.
Have to. I can't cuss the control tower. That would... I'd be filmed in my most inglorious. Oh well. Yeah, it's a pretty stout wind to boot.
Mm-hmm. It is now.
Yeah.
10 minutes till 10, ain't it?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. That means I'm getting too close to another work session.
Yeah. When does your work session start?
12.
12. Well, instead of going to work, that's biscuit time, ain't it?
Well, it should be, but oh well. It means I'm getting paid.
Reckon Katie gets anything worth anything for her job?
Well, I know she's spending a lot of time working lately.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, even more than I am. They cut me off early yesterday and early the day before, which means my next paycheck isn't going to be worth a damn.
Oh, yeah.
$47 hours, so
Oh, yeah.
a week's pay plus 7 hours, not good. It'd be a lot easier if I was knocking down 80 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm figuring that it's not likely to improve. because they expected a whole bunch of activity over the course of these days
Uh-huh.
and tried to plan for it. And then, they ended up cutting hours.
Oh, yeah. The economy is not like it ought to be, is it?
No. And I think it's fascinating that nobody can decide why it's that way.
Well, things have got so damn high priced that a lot of people quit spending what they used to spend.
Well, my personal thought is that wages didn't go up with profits.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of activity out there bound and determined to undermine how wages are designed
Yeah.
so that they can maintain these ridiculously high profits. Because at a time when the economy is at a standstill, corporations are seeing record profits.
Oh, yeah.
And on the other side of the totem pole, wages aren't coming up to match that. And haven't for a long time.
What they do, I've noticed over the years, one side of it goes up, and then the other one comes up to match it, and then they go up again, and then somebody else comes up to match it. It's just getting completely out of line on both sides of the book. Here comes another tumbleweed.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, they're going to fill up that corner.
Mm-hmm. What it does, fill up fence rows out there in Kansas, and then comes a damn, all the fields just like this runway here, flatter than hell, and it's easy to make snow slide, and it gets about as high as that fence along the edge of the road. I remember one time on that road from our place to Sayre, it got up where you could walk down the road like that and couldn't see it. Nothing but snow.
Right.
And they graded and pushed it all out, and by God, to come another deal like that and put it right back in the road again.
Right.
And that's old Frank Coburn's boy was responsible for a lot of that, working for the state.
Uh-huh.
And he said that's when your language becomes colorful.
Doing all that work and then finding out you've done it for nothing.
Yeah. He had a little old French car. What do they call them?
A Fiat?
Fiat?
Renault?
Renault, that's what it is. His luck wasn't exactly good. He had that little Renault, and he was always telling me he didn't like the damn thing. There goes a little airplane creeping along there.
Right.
And anyhow, when he retired, he bought a big house trailer and a Buick to pull it. It got out on the road, and the first damn thing that happened, somebody broadsided it.
Ouch. Yeah, he's going back into the hole in there.
Mm-hmm.
He must have just landed on the other runway.
Probably. One time, Dad and I was on the road on 160 highway going from Thayer to Argonia, you know where that is.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a woman come on. There was a tractor going, a brand spanking new International, bright red one, and she run into the back of us, got clear up on top of that plow that was pulled, and me and my dad had stopped there, you know, had to, and she said to that cop who was there, patrolman, she said he didn't have a red flag on it. And the cop said, well, God Almighty, he says, the whole thing was red. Says, what do you want to do, anyhow? The whole damn thing's red. Said, I would have thought anybody could have seen that. I always find some excuse. It was the other guy's fault for not having a flag out.
In other words, she was in a hurry and not paying attention.
When she run in his back, got up clear up on top of the front of her car, was on top of the back of that plow thing.
Ouch.
Just tore the shit out of that car. The old plow didn't seem like it was bothered much. And down south of there, you know, there's that curve before you go into straightaway to.
Right.
Everybody's called it Dead Man's Curve because there'd been several people tried to go straight when the road was crooked, you know.
Ouch. That would hurt.
Several people got, my memory got killed. Here comes the airplanes way down yonder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, old Taft Stafford, an old farmer there, he had a row crop tractor going down the road with it. Pretty good sized tractor. And the guy hit it 100 miles an hour.
Good God.
Knocked one of the back wheels off of it. Of course, it killed him. And old Taft, he just rode the tractor off in a ditch and turned the tractor over. He didn't get hurt at all. He's talking about that. He said, damn car sure give that tractor a boost. There's 2 airplanes down there crawling off.
One of them just landed.
Uh-huh.
And the other one's on its way out to do just that, take off.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be running to the north.
Yeah. That damn wind is out of the north now, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. And it's stout.
Yeah. Front coming in or something.
That could be. It's coming from the right direction. And it's a mite cool, even.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when I was going to that school studying navigation, that wind changing, like that sure complicates your mathematics, you know it.
Really?
It's got a well, drift, you know, whatever they call it.
Right.
You'd be going one way and run into something like that, and it would go several degrees off if you don't correct it. So the navigator has to look at the dust down there.
There's 3 planes out there.
Mm-hmm.
2 that are headed out to the runway and 1 that's coming in.
Mm-hmm. And you know, like flying across the Pacific Ocean like that woman aviator did, you know, trying to hit Holland Island.
Right.
Wasn't any bigger than this military place here.
No,
Thousands
it's
of
not.
miles of open ocean all around it.
What is that, a fire truck?
I don't know, some kind of a maintenance truck.
Yeah.
Ladders. Well, just a little change in the breeze cause you to miss a place like that, especially if you was not paying attention. And you miss it, you just keep it going on, and you wake up pretty soon and find out that you done bypassed it and you didn't know which side you passed it on. All that complication, you know.
Right.
They're trying to, and they had the Navy out there looking after her, didn't they? And she just made a complete flop out of it.
Well, it's like I was saying the other day. They were showing pictures of or a film of her taking off from that last island.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like the antenna on the underside of the airplane got torn to bits in the midst of the takeoff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. Geese.
Yeah. Wonder what it'd do if it flew into a bunch of them.
Well, look what it's doing now. Look how hard they're fighting just to go north.
Yeah. Now, them people knows how to fly.
Yeah, they do.
Know how to formation, too.
Yeah, and they're not going directly into the wind. They're trying to slice through it.
Yeah. Them's long-range birds. If I was them, I'd stick my heels out and my neck out, and I'd head for Dixieland.
Uh-huh.
I don't see him, but I know he's there.
Listen to him fight against the wind.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back around the back way.
Uh-huh. He better get out of the flight pattern here if he's going to ride around.
See, there's one taking off on the far one.
Mm-hmm.
Just now got off the ground.
Yeah. Climbing pretty steep, too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, he's paying attention to the wind. But he's not a 130.
Oh, no. That's a commercial jet.
Yeah. Starting to level off. Starting to turn to the right.
Uh-huh.
Still turning.
Yeah. There he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's going to go south
Uh-huh.
east. Maybe. Actually, now he's looking like he's going due south.
He's behind that pipe, isn't he?
Right.
We'll have to get that pipe out of our way.
I'd like to do that. I don't think they'd approve. Ah, shoot. It is kind of slow today.
Now, where's that?
He's overhead. Oh! Yeah. Directly overhead and headed west and now south.
Uh-huh.
Well, shoot. I guess I'm ready to head for the barn.